What's up? This is Demigod here with Demigod TV. What's going on? And we're here today to talk about a movie review, and I'm going to be reviewing The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. I saw it over this past weekend, and it was literally, I think, a lot better than Unexpected Journey. So the way I want to break this down is how my personal reviews on it, how it compares to An Unexpected Journey, and what I thought could have been improved / things that could have been better, what was made it weird or stuff. So my view on it, oh my god, it was crazy. Like, I've read the book, and the book is just one book, basically. The Hobbit is just one book. It's basically the finding of the ring in Bilbo's time. So it's like how he finds it, like everything in Unexpected Journey. It was basically 3/4 of the book, and then like I think the last part of the Hobbit is about the dragon or something. It's been a while since I read it, so you can correct me if you want. And then there's like stories in between about how they kill the dragon, and then that's what leads into Lord of the Rings. But knowing Peter Jackson, how he likes to go above and beyond into the world of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, he decided to make 3 movies. One being the first one being An Unexpected Journey. The next, this one is Desolation of Smaug, and then the last one I've heard is rumored to be There and Back Again, which is the title of the book, The Hobbit, that Bilbo shows Frodo in Fellowship of the Ring. So I mean, that's what it's supposed to be called. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I've heard. Scheduled for December 14th, or December. It's like December 14th, December 19th of next year. I'm not 100% sure when. But, I mean, I loved it. I mean, Bilbo was much better in this movie. The dwarves were really good in this movie. Gandalf wasn't in it as much, per se, but he was still there, so he was really good. And, who else? The dragon, freaking Smaug. Oh my god, he was awesome. He was one of the best dragon characters in any movie or TV show I've seen in a very long time. Because, like, the last dragon thing I've seen, I think, was, I'm butchering this too, was like How to Train Your Dragon, DreamWorks thing, and it annoyed me because there's no way that's the way a dragon would act with humans. Like, Smaug had that, like, I mean, obviously it's Lord of the Rings and it's talking, so I mean, you know, obviously it kind of related more to a human aspect, but Smaug, he had that, like, sense of fear, sense of, you know, I'm a trickster, but I'm still gonna fool you or, you know, kill you. And like he was just amazing. I love Smaug. He was definitely I think he's now my favorite dragon character. I've seen a couple different dragon movies, and I definitely think Smaug is number 1. I mean, he was just fucking, like, awesome. I mean, he had that, how would I explain it? Like, sinister, sort of, personality. Like, even, so, this contains spoilers, so if you don't want to hear it, just skip past this. So, when Bilbo puts on the ring, you know, he's, like, you know, taunting Smaug, and he can't see him, and everything. Like, it was just, like, even what Smaug was saying, like, where are you, thief, and everything, like, it was awesome, and he really had that sense of, like, dude, I'm, like, messed. Like, it was just awesome. So that's a little thing. Another kind of funny thing is, Gloin, at one point when, because Legolas is in this. Oh, I forgot to mention Legolas is also in the movie, which was freaking cool too. So, you know, the elves capture the dwarves. Again, here's more spoilers. If you don't want to hear, just skip past this. They capture the dwarves, and you know, one of Gloin, who's Gimli's son, eventually comes out and says, "This is my son Gimli." So that's referring to the Lord of the Rings. And then the very last kind of spoiler-esque thing is basically like, they make a reference to Lord of the Rings. Bard says, or one of the dwarves says, "Do you have King's Foil?" And Bard, the bowman, who's kind of from the different stories in between Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, he says, "Aye, it's a weed." And if you all watch Lord of the Rings, you'll know that's what Samwise says when Frodo's stabbed by the Morgul blade. I think it's called Morgul. And Aragorn asks Samwise, "King's Foil?" And then Sam says, "Aye, it's a weed." So, you know, there's kind of that weird sort of, like, interconnection there. I don't know if that's where they based off of, but that's another little thing. So the next thing we're going to talk about is basically how it compared to Unexpected Journey. And don't get me wrong, Unexpected Journey was it lived up to the book, to the extent I don't necessarily remember how, but I only saw it once, so I mean, it's going to have to take me a little bit to remember. But I felt like Desolation of Smaug had the more, you know, action you would expect in a Lord of the Rings-esque type of movie, because it's not necessarily Lord of the Rings, but it's still in that same world. Like, it felt like you could connect to the characters more, you know, like Thor in Oakenshield is definitely like the Aragorn of not the hobbits, the dwarves. Bilbo was a much more advanced character, like, you know, in Hobbit, Unexpected Journey, he was kind of like laid back, he didn't really do anything, he was kind of nervous. In this one, he's straightforward, wants to be with the dwarves, wants to help them. Some of the dwarves definitely stepped up too. Keeley was in this a lot more. I think all of them were kind of in this a lot more, and main focus was more on Thorin, which was kind of cool. I also thought that, like, Unexpected Journey was a little slow. Like, you kind of had focusing on too much time of them, like, getting to wherever they were supposed to go in Unexpected Journey. I don't remember necessarily now, but I mean, in this one it was just, you know, they're going. The ending we'll talk about, and like the flaws of the movie. The ending was like, you're just like sitting there waiting, like, all right, when is this gonna end? When is this gonna end? And then the end's like not a major letdown, but it's a letdown. You're like, you gotta be kidding me. But I mean, it was definitely a lot more like if you were to like compare it like to like Unexpected Journey, like Unexpected Journey kind of like goes up like this, has its peak, and then continues to go back down. Where this one, it's like going up, down, and then a straight line towards the end. So it's however you want to view it. If you've seen it, you'll know what, and you want to compare the two, you'll know what you're talking about. This is just, again, my personal view on it. So that's why I think it's compared to Unexpected Journey. And now, I guess the last part is basically sort of like the flaw / what could have been better. Definitely the ending. Like, it carried on for, like, forever. Obviously, the dragon awakens, because it's called the Desolation of Smaug, and for a reason. You don't even have to see the movie, the trailers even prove that, because they do show the dragon at points, you know, out of the gold and stuff like that, Bilbo talking to him. But, you know, it's just, like, what you don't see in the trailers, it's like, you're sitting there in your movie theater chair, like, come on, just end already. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Jackson as a director, but he just, like, stretched it out way too far. I think, personally, what they should have done is end it, like, necessarily with the dragon waking up, and then, you know, the part where, like, you know, Bilbo sort of taunting him and everything. I think that's where they could have cut it, like in the trailers when he says, I think he says, like, oh, Smaug the Stupendous or something. Pardon me, my allergies are kicking in a little bit. I think that's where they could have ended it, but where they did end it, it was a major cliffhanger and a major letdown. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I gotta wait a whole another year for the next movie. You're like, oh my god. So, you know, there's that. So, you know, another thing is they definitely stretched out some parts, or added in parts that didn't necessarily need to be, like some conversations between, like, the, with Legolas and the, female elephant. I'm losing her name right now, like Galadriel or something. Like, there's some things in there that I felt weren't needed, and they kind of added in length to the movie. There were some parts with, like, the White Orc, Azarog or Azarol, I forget his name now too, that I felt weren't necessarily needed, that they put in there. So, I mean, there's just a lot of, like, added in stuff that I felt that was kind of, like, unnecessary, quote unquote. But, I mean, you know, it's Peter Jackson, he likes to do stuff like that. I mean, just look at Lord of the Rings, right? Like, you had Return of the King, which was, you know, this grand scale of, like, 5 different battles. And then, you know, there were some things in there that you're like, alright, come on, go along, because I want to get to the next battle. Like, when Aragorn goes to the Caverns of the Dead to get the army of the dead to listen to him, you know, you had the Battle of Pelennor Fields going, or was it the Battle of Pelennor Fields? I don't remember, I have to watch the movie again, going on at the same time. So then we cut from that to this, you're like, no, go back to the battle, come on, skip this. Like, that's what it was in The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug at some points. Like, you know, when the dwarves are trying to escape the orcs, it's like, they'll skip to one thing, you're like, no, go back, I want to see what happens. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things. But overall, I mean, it blew my mind. I mean, Jackson's a stellar director. He does not fail to disappoint. I love the movie. I definitely recommend it because it was downright amazing. So anyways, that's my personal review on The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. If you guys want to leave your own comments and anything you want to know about me, about what's going to be coming up next, just let me know in the comments. And I'll try and answer you as best I can. Next video is going to be a music video, not like a actual, you know, where I'm playing something, singing music video, but on my channel, about a vlog of the music video. Let me rephrase that. It's going to be a video explaining my top 10 favorite albums that were released this year in 2013. and that should be really exciting. I can't wait to show you guys my list. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been my personal thoughts, opinions, and review on The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. This is Demigod TV with Demigod here, and I'll see you all tomorrow and next time for my next video, which is but my favorite albums that were released this year in 2013 in the metal community. Keep it real.